Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System with signing agent Donyale out in Maryland. This story is a story of perseverance. It's a story of effort. It's a story of consistency. It's a story of slow and steady wins the race. Can you tell everybody, Donyale, how much money you've made this month?
I'm up to $11,100. It's surreal. I never thought in a million years I would ever make this much money in 30 days.
Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System with signing agent Donyale out in Maryland, who is absolutely just crushing it, and I'm so proud of her. This story is super inspiring. I know a lot of these stories have been like, oh, I made $10,000 after my first month. I've made $15,000 in month number 3. This story is not like that. This story is a story of perseverance. It's a story of effort. It's a story of consistency. It's a story of slow and steady wins the race. Can you tell everybody, Donyale, how much money you've made this month?
I'm up to $11,100.
$11,000 in one calendar month. And frankly, the month's not even over. When I say that, Donyale, how do you feel when I say that?
It's surreal. I never thought in a million years I would ever make this much money in 30 days.
And so, yes, this journey is 2 years in the making. She's been a loan signing system for student for 2 years, and now she's break the $10,000 a month barrier. We're going to talk about it. And for some of you guys watching this, she is in the state of Maryland, which is an attorney state. Now, what I want to say is we're not giving any legal advice. We're not giving any lawyer. She's not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. We're just going to talk about a journey of a signing agent in the state of Maryland. She is getting business directly from attorneys. When we kind of touch base on that, we'll talk about how you're a little bit different than other attorney states, but I want to make sure we put out the very good disclaimer. This is not any law advice. We're not giving legal advice. Neither one of us attorneys, but we are going to inspire some people today. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay, so this is awesome. You know, like I say, D, I'm so proud of you. I've known Donyale obviously for 2 years now. I met her at a conference last year, and we're in communication regularly. So I'm just proud of you, man.
Thank you.
You know, and it's not the money I'm proud of you about. It is your persistence. And, we're going to get into your income journey. The fact you didn't give up when you could have given up. And to know that you're now making, 10 grand plus a month like that. I am so proud of you.
I can't believe it.
Okay. So, you've seen a few of these episodes yourself. So you know that I start off with the same question first. And that is, Dee, tell us why you became a signing agent to begin with.
Well, I have had credit card debt for as long as I can remember. And no matter where I worked, no matter how much money I had, I was never able to make a dent in it. Or maybe I'd, pay something off or pay a few off and be excited about that. But then something would come up and I had to use it again. So I really just never had, I felt like, enough money to pay off this credit card debt. And it was year after year after year.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only person. What I kind of heard is you kind of live paycheck to paycheck.
Pretty much, yes.
And pay, even though there's a lot of Americans have great full-time jobs, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck.
That was me.
And they feel kind of a weight of the credit card debt. So, talk about that weight you were feeling from carrying this debt for years. Right.
So I felt like at this age, I shouldn't have this debt. So I honestly kind of felt like a failure. I'm like, how come I can't get rid of this debt? How come I just can't get to a position where I feel comfortable financially at this particular point in time in my life? It's not like I'm, in your 20s and you create all this debt. I haven't been 20 in a very long time, but I just felt like a failure. I really felt like a failure. And emotionally, it was hard. I just felt like I was a failure and I can't even really help my husband as much as I would like to because I have all this credit card debt, which was like my debt, not our debt. It was totally mine. And I really did start to feel like a failure.
I'm tearing up like you're anything.
I know, me too. I don't want to cry.
You're anything but, and you're just, and so I want to say thank you, because you're not the only person who feels the weight of credit card debt, and you're so forthright in saying that you felt like you were a failure. And I'm assuming you aren't the only American who have some of that negative self-talk. And so thank you for being brave enough to share your story, because I think someone else watching this may be like, D, I feel like that. And knowing that you've come out of that on top, right? You're now a $10,000 a month signing agent, is inspiring within itself. So this is so, so awesome. And so, you know, what I'm picking up with on your story, Donyale, is you start out this business as a part-time signing agent, and now you're full-time. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So I did start out part-time in the beginning, maybe like the first 6 months or so. And then even though I really wasn't making that much money with it the first 6 months, but I still said, you know what? I'm just going to go full speed ahead. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to take a chance and just do it full time. And I'm so glad I did.
So now what does your husband think, right? I mean, you go from what you feel, talk about that.
I know. He's so excited because, as you know, so whenever we hit our milestones, we get our certificates, and I have them hanging on the wall. So now he gets so excited too. He's like, okay, it's towards the end of the month. Where are we? Where are we? Are you going to make the next goal? So he's just as excited as I am, and proud of me that I'm able to finally have what I call this financial level of comfort.
And it's only going to go up from here. We're going to talk about your journey right now. But again, thank you for sharing that. You know, it's the credit card is a debt, is a burden for a lot of Americans. And so, but what I think you should commend yourself on is, instead of being a victim to the debt, you know, where you may have had some of those feelings that you obviously just shared, you still made a choice of like, look, I'm not going to be victim to it. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to rise. I'm going to make something of it. And so that takes a lot of human spirit. So I want to commend you on that. So anything but a failure, you're far from it. So let's inspire people about this amazing journey that you've been on for the past 2 years. Again, this is a 2-year journey. This is not one of those stories that I've shared with someone making it, you know, after 30 days or 6 months. This is 2 years in the making, right? And look, in full transparency out there for some of the people watching this, and even for some of our students, you know, building a signing agent business in an attorney state is different than building in an escrow state.
Yes, it is.
But as you're proving right now, you can make a 5-figure a month business in an attorney state.
You can. You absolutely can.
Slow and steady wins that race, right? So let's take people through your slow and steady journey of how you've gotten to where you are today. So 2 years ago, you became a loan signing system student. What did the first 6 months of your journey look like from an income standpoint? How much money were you making a month, more or less?
I never made $2,000 the first 6 months.
Got it.
I got close. I think I got to like 1,800 one month, and I got excited. But I never made $2,000 the first 6 months.
I love it. Okay, cool. So I think it's really cool. So I mean, on the outside looking in, right? You have an $1,800 a month part-time business, right? I mean, especially where we are right now in our economy, there are people out there who would be like, I will take $1,800 time, right?
For sure.
So that's really cool. So I think the cool part about your journey in the beginning is you had a really cool side hustle, whatever word you want to use, part-time income. But then about month number 6, you decided to do what?
Go full-time. I left my full-time job of 2 years, which I actually loved, the job itself, but I left them after 6 months of being a part-time signing agent.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about people through the next 6 months. So, you know, you made a decision to go all in on your business. You're like, you're making good money, but, you know, frankly, you know, you're making $1,800 or $2,000. It wasn't like you're making $4,000 or $6,000. What was the mindset, you know, just to kind of talk through of like, I'm going to go full time? What were you thinking? What was kind of the mindset there?
I honestly didn't have a plan B. So I've done like a bunch of different home-based businesses in the past. And this was just it for me. I'm like, I have to go full time. I have to give it my all. I have to give this 100% of my time, because there is no plan B. This is it for me. This has to work. So that was the mindset. There's no plan B. I just have to do whatever it takes to make this work.
I love it. And I hope people got inspired by what you just said. It's amazing what we're capable of when our backs are against the wall.
Yes.
It's amazing what we're capable when you say what you just said, which is there was no plan B.
Nope.
There's some people who go into everything already having a plan B, which just means you're expecting plan A to fail.
Right. And I have done that in the past with other businesses, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I have to do something different. So what I did different was there's no plan B. This is it.
That's so good. That's good. I'm getting fired up right now. I love it. But yeah, you're right. When you got to go all in, you got to go all in. It's the only way to build a business, right? And
Yes.
so let's try to inspire some people really quick on another part of your journey. I mean, before you became a signing agent, were you in real estate? Were you in title? Were you, I mean, an appraiser? Did you have any experience?
I was not in title at all, but I did have real estate experience.
Okay,
but
cool.
that real estate experience doesn't help me in as for being a signing agent. It's just I have it, I have some knowledge, but it's not I could have done this without that knowledge.
Perfect. And then next, I just want to talk people through your background so people kind of know what each of my students do before they walked into this business. And so now let's kind of go back to your journey. So month number 6, you're like, okay, cool. I'm going all in. Let's talk about the next 6 months. What would your income level there for the next 6 months?
It still wasn't a lot. It would go maybe, $2,500, between $2,500 and $3,500. It would, up and down. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I want to know your mindset now because, frankly, $2,500 full time isn't that much money.
No, it's not.
But what made you not give up? Like, let me say it like that. You just said there was no plan B. So let me rephrase that. Okay. Why weren't you discouraged? Why weren't you like, this isn't for me? Why weren't you like, I'm going back to my full-time job? Because there's some of our fellow LSS students, who have a $2,500 a month part-time and they feel like the sky's falling. And they feel like, oh, this business isn't for me. Oh, I got to quit. I got to go back and get my full-time job. Because I'm trying to dig into your mindset here to inspire the next signing agent. Right. So why didn't you see $2,500 a month as a full-time signing agent as a failure?
Because it was more than I had done the previous 6 months. So I saw a light at the end of the tunnel. So I just kind of felt like if I keep going, it's only going to get better. If I keep talking to people, it's only going to get better. If I keep building these relationships, it can only go up from here. That was my mindset.
I love it. I mean, what I heard there is instead of comparing your journey to somebody else's, you compared your journey to your previous month, right?
Yeah.
I always teach you guys, you don't ever strive for perfection, you strive for progress. And you really just measured your business to the month before, not someone else doing $6,000 a month.
Nope.
Not for someone else doing $8,000. You're like, look, I did $1,800 last night, $2,500. I'm up. Like, let's go.
Exactly.
I can't wait
exactly.
I love that so much. And I hope some of our students, our fellow family members are hearing what you're saying here is, you just got to compare your journey to your previous month.
Exactly.
Where you are. And slow and steady wins the race. I love this.
Yes, it did.
Because slow and steady is winning your race. And I love it because, every time she made $2,000, Mark, here's my 1K club. Mark, where's the 4K club? But I love it because you're judging and now hearing your story and your mindset. Now I know why you were so always turning in the stubs to get the clubs because you wanted to mark your progress. I think, and I hope people are inspired by that, D, because I think that's powerful. I think it's super, super powerful. And
there were a lot of times that I would, on the Facebook group and everything, and I'd see other people and their success, but it never made me feel bad. It just made me want to do even more. I'm like, okay, if they can do it in 4 months or 6 months, I know this is possible. I just got to keep going and I'll get there too. So it's just like you said, it was a slower pace for me, but I'm like there now.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And it's another thing is you from the day one, you had a success mindset. I can't take any credit for that, right? I mean, your drive and your human spirit and your tenacity is all D, right? And you just found your niche, girl. Like this is
I did. That's it. I found my niche. That's it.
Your niche. And so, what I was alluding to is the fact that, you're able to be inspired by other people's success. You don't see someone else's success as your failure.
No, I do not.
And I think sometimes students or people in general, right? Someone will see someone with a Rolls Royce and be like, oh, he has a Rolls, I'm not doing bad. Instead of like, oh my gosh, if he can get a Rolls, so can I, right?
Yeah, right.
It's just a mindset switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have that. And that's phenomenal. And I hope everyone else is hearing a signing agent where it took 2 years to get to the 10K club.
Yes.
She never got turned off by someone else doing 10K before. She never told herself, I'm not successful. I'm only doing 2,500. Slow and steady won the race. And gosh, this is such a great story, man. I love it
you.
so much. Okay, cool. So let's inspire some more. So the second 6 months of your journey, you're doing anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I think that's amazing.
Not a lot. It's okay, but not a lot.
Right. Okay, cool. Exactly. So let's talk about you after year number 1. Where did that next 6 months kind of go? Like month 12 through like 18?
It went from 3 to 4. It's like every month it would go up 1,000, between 1,000 to 1,800 every month. And every month I'd look at my numbers like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. I can't believe I did more than I did last month. And then the next month I did more than I did the next month. And I just couldn't believe it. It just started going up, up, up every single month. And it's continuously gone up. I haven't gone back down. Like it's a continuous upward progress so far.
That's called growth. I love it. So let me ask you a couple of questions now. Let's inspire some people. So the first year, and I don't know this part of your journey, so let's talk through it together. Was it all signing service business? Were you getting any direct? Because I'm trying to figure out when this moment of direct came, and did that coincide with you making more money?
So my first year, the majority of my business was signing services. I might have had 2 or 3 direct relationships, but they weren't like giving me a boatload of business. It was kind of like, I don't think I was necessarily their first person to go to. I had the relationship, but I don't think I was the first person. So the majority of my income was signing service. I'd probably say 75% was all signing services.
Okay. So year number 1 is when you kind of decided I'm going direct.
Yes.
So let's talk through that a little bit, right? And I think, again, that's inspiring. So, you see some of our students who go direct, and for some people who don't know the loan signing system lingo, that means directly to mortgage officers, attorneys, title officers, lenders. You're bypassing the signing service. So anyways, we have some students, who go direct right out of the gate.
Right out the gate.
Literally, Megan, I interviewed last week, was right out of the gate.
Right.
Again, slow and steady wins the race. That's what I love this, right? There's no wrong or right way to build a business. There's just your way.
That's right.
Let's talk about kind of why you didn't go direct. Maybe if there's any nerves, I want to talk through that fact and what I want to inspire people with is you can do a year worth of signing service business. That's not bad. A lot of people think that I coach, like signing services are bad. I don't coach them. No. I say you should diversify and your goal is always to get to direct, but I think doing signing service business is amazing.
Yeah,
I teach.
It is. I agree.
So let's talk about why didn't you go direct? Was it nerves holding you back? And kind of talk about that so we can inspire somebody.
Okay, so I kind of had this salesman in my head mentality, like I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a salesman. I don't know how to go into the title company and like sell myself or sell my services, because in my mind I'm thinking, used car salesman, so to speak. But it's not that at all, but that's what I thought it was. So that's what prevented me from, I was nervous. And I'm not even the type of person, like I have no problem speaking to people, but I was nervous because I felt like I'm going to be a salesman. Like I'm not a salesman. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable because I know I'm not a salesman. And in my head, this is like a salesman's type of thing.
Yeah, well,
but it's not. It's so not that at all.
I appreciate it so much because I think a lot of our students like you are still going signing service only, and they're just a little intimidated, scared, whatever words you want to use, overwhelmed about going in and making that. And again, I think it's really cool. It took you a year to build up what I would call the confidence. Yeah, it's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with taking a year to build the courage, to build the confidence, because you're now at $10,000 a month. So I'm hoping some of our family members realize they don't get discouraged if you haven't gone direct yet.
Right.
Don't look at it bad you haven't gone direct. You're now looking at a $10,000 a month signing agent that took her over a year to build up that courage to go in. And again, you're in an attorney state.
Yes, I am.
Different beast than an escrow state. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Let's inspire someone else in Maryland or even an attorney state student, right? So when you're marketing to these attorneys, you're nervous, you have butterflies.
Yep, exactly.
So you walk in, what happens? I mean, when they say no, Donyale, like, are you still breathing after they say no?
Yes, because here's the thing. I can honestly say I haven't really gotten a no, just right at like, no, we don't use signing agents. I just get, oh, well, thank you for your information. We'll keep you in mind, or we'll, put you in our database or something like that. But I haven't, thankfully, gotten flat out no.
Well, hold on, let me time out there, because that's a beautiful point. You're dropping like fire. And because I think that's what people are scared of, by the way. I feel people, when I say people, some LSS students, think you're going to walk into an attorney's office or even an escrow office, whatever. Right. And someone's going to be like, no, we're good. See you later. Like, it's not like that.
No, it's not. And I've not gotten one single solitary no. I just get, they're very pleasant, very nice. They'll, take my information, or, I'll let so-and-so know, but I've never gotten a flat out no. And I don't walk in expecting like a relationship out the blue and an appointment that day, because I know they don't know me from a hole in the wall, so that's not going to happen. But what I did find is being consistent. So I wouldn't just go one time and then never go back. I had like a little schedule. So I would, have my schedule of going, and I'd stop in again, and they got familiar with my face. They knew my name when I came in. Still hadn't given me any business yet. But again, slow and steady, and eventually they brought me on board.
This is so good. Like I said, I think you're breaking down a few myths that some of our students may have, is the fact that, like, when an attorney, escrow officer, real estate agent, no one's ever going to be rude and say no.
No, they're not.
People just don't do that. I think it kind of in our head, that's what we assume is going to happen when we walk in, but people just aren't like that.
And it's not.
And I love that you mentioned that, because that was such a good little nugget. And hopefully you're easing some people's fears or unassuming,
I hope so.
That it's not as bad as you think.
It's not.
I love it. And like you said, you had no sales experience, and you're going out and it's not sales at all. So
it's not.
I want people to get inspired, but you got to go out and do it, because you got no plan B. Let's go.
No plan B.
I love that. That should be like a shirt, no plan B.
There you go. I'll get one made up and wear it to conference.
I love it. Okay, so now when year number one, you're starting to go direct, you're seeing your income go up and up. What does the last 6 months of your business look like?
So far this year, I've made almost 50. And it's only June. I know. I'm going to cry saying that, because I can't believe my last full-time job, I didn't make 50 a year. And I'm almost at 50, and it's June. I'm going to cry. Like, seriously, I can't believe it. I'm so excited about it. I'm so happy about it, but I'm almost at 50, and it's only half the year. You'll make me cry.
Gee, I'm proud of you. I mean, taking the moment.
You.
I tell you students that you should stop and smell the roses.
Yes, for sure.
You should stop and you just don't want to stop that long.
Right, exactly. Just take a little pause.
You want to take a pause and take it in, and then you have your moment right now, D. You get it. You own it. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
You're going to be a 6-figure signing agent.
Thank you. I am, for sure.
You're going to be a 6-figure signing agent. I have no doubt in my mind. This is so awesome. Okay, so maybe you're on $50,000 in 6 months. Like,
I know.
That is amazing. But it took you a year and a half to get here.
Yes, it did.
And that's what I want to inspire the next signing agent watching this. Right. Is slow with it. There is no right or wrong way of building a business. The worst thing you can do is give up.
Exactly. I was just about to say, you can't give up. You just have to keep going, and it will. It's like it's guaranteed to happen. As long as you keep going, it's gonna happen.
Because when you give up, you're not giving up just on your business. You're giving up on you.
That is true. For sure.
You chose never to give up on you.
Never. Yep.
You bet on you.
I did. I bet it all on me.
And if there's anyone to ever bet on, it's ourselves, right?
Right.
So I hope people are getting inspired that this isn't a story of, Mark, I did 50 grand in my first 6 months. No, this took me a year and a half to get here.
Exactly.
This is a story about perseverance. This is a story about consistency. This is a story about believing in yourself. This is a story about that the slow and steady does win the race.
It really does. I'm proof.
Other people watching.
In an attorney state at that.
That's right, an attorney state at that. Now, really quick on a side note here, again, we are not giving legal advice. We are neither one of us are lawyers.
Nope.
Maryland, I do want to speak to maybe another Maryland signing agent who's watching this. Maryland, you guys are required. There's 3 states that require TPL licenses, title producer license. It's Maryland, Indiana, and Minnesota.
Yep.
It's just one extra certification, for lack of a better word, that you
Right.
need to be on Notary Commission. So to inspire another Maryland student or would-be student,
Right.
how much does your TPL cost you?
So there's several different classes you can take. The least expensive one, which is actually a really great one, is I think it's 180 or 189. So in my opinion, a really small investment to, have the potential to change your life financially.
Yeah, sometimes, Maryland students are like, oh, there's something else. I'm like, yeah, it's a TPL license. I don't want to say it's not a big deal but it's not terribly expensive. My point
No,
is
it's not.
$190. It's a tax deduction, obviously.
Yep, exactly.
As a business owner. But nonetheless, I just want to make sure I touch base on that. But you're doing signings, you're crushing out there in Maryland, and now you're doing $50,000 in 6 months. You're on track to do 6 figures.
No. It feels scary a little bit, like, oh my gosh, I can really do this. Like, I know I can, but I'm like, I can really do this. I can really make $100,000 this year.
You are so far from a failure. I just can see where you were and how you felt about yourself 2 years ago. And again, thank you for being so vulnerable, because some people wouldn't want to admit that. And so thank you, because I know there's someone else who's going to resonate with that fact.
You're welcome.
2 years later, dude, you're going to be a 6-figure signing agent.
I know. Go from credit card debt to no debt in 2 years.
Like, how good does that feel?
It feels amazing. And I really, seriously, I really have paid off all but 2 credit cards. Like, everything's paid off except 2. And the way I'm going, those 2 will be paid off probably in 3 months.
Oh, that's so good.
0 credit card debt.
Okay, cool. So now we've inspired some people. Let's talk about giving some advice, right? Okay. So you've seen a few of these shows before, and I asked for one tip. What is one specific tip, action item, something to help grow your business that you feel if another signing agent would implement, it would help grow their business? What would your tip be?
You have to be consistent in your efforts to build relationships. Period. Consistency is key.
I love it. And what I teach you students is, your husband, you didn't get him to marry you after 2 dates.
Right.
But yet sometimes we as signing agents expect an attorney or an escrow officer to go out with us after 2 times. Like, that's not real.
Right. No.
Right?
No, it's not. That's not the life.
I had to ask my wife out. Maybe I'm giving too much information right now. I had to ask my wife out 3 times before she said yes. I'm like, bro, you can take me down. But my point is, that's just real life, right?
Yes, it is.
So I love that you said that, because a lot of signing agents, and LSS students, families included, will go to an attorney or will go to an escrow officer and not get the yes they want and think that they failed.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's not the case at all. You didn't fail. Like you said, it's like no one's gonna give you a try the first time they see you. We just walked in off the street into a title office or an escrow office or a lender's office. They don't know us from a hole in the wall. So kind of put yourself in their shoes. Would you hire a painter that just showed up at your door one day and said, hey, I want to paint your house? No, you wouldn't. Now maybe he kept coming around and then he did your neighbor's house and he kind of proved himself. Then you'll give him a chance. So this is kind of no different. You have to keep going back. You can't get discouraged when they don't give you something right away. You just have to build up that relationship, and eventually they will. They will. It could take 3 months. One title company I now have the best relationship with, 8 months. They gave me nothing, and now they're probably the title company that gives me the most.
I hope people. I'm getting juiced up by this. Talk about slow and steady wins the race. Talk about consistency. You're going into the same title office month after month after month, where most people would have given up.
Yes.
Not you.
And I'm sure they've seen other signing agents start out doing the same thing, and then they gave up. But I kept coming, and I kept coming, and I kept coming. And I guess that proved to them, okay, well, she's consistent, if nothing else. So maybe we should give her a try.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I mean, for so many reasons. I keep saying that. It's not like a broken record, but it's the truth. It's like you're an implementer. Like, you became an LSS student 2 years ago, and every time you learn something from me, you do it. Every time you learn, you put your spin on it, whether, and again, that's the successful mindset, because the most successful people are the best students.
Yes, I agree with that.
And so you're an amazing student. I'm just so proud of you. Take the scripts, you use the scripts, you use the formula, and it just rinse and repeat.
It works. You just have to use it. It works. Like, just all I do is what you say, what you teach, what you mentor us, everything you say to do, everything you say to implement. We don't have to recreate the wheel. You've done all the footwork for us. Just do what Mark says, follow the scripts, and it works. Like, I'm proof that it works. All the successful, all of us are proof that it works.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy for you and your family. Let me give you a little sneak peek into mentorship tomorrow. You're going to want to watch this.
Okay.
It's mentorship tomorrow, because you're now in this really awesome position where you're now making more money than the people you're getting signings from.
Oh.
Wrap your head around that. And
what?
so what you don't want to do is create dissension between the people who give you business, and now you're making more money than them. And so I'm going to teach you tomorrow how to make sure that bridge and gap never happens. But now you're in that rare air where you're making more money than probably 90% of the people you're working for. And it makes your relationship stay strong, make sure it stays authentic, make sure there's continuous gratitude. So now they want to give you even more money. Now, wrap your head around that. Huh?
Yeah. I'm like, wow.
It's a crazy moment in every successful signing agent's journey, where you start making more money than the clients you work with.
I never even thought of that before. Never thought of that before.
And your job now is to make sure that that relationship stays strong.
Yes.
Make sure none of that, there's no one's feeling awkward.
Right.
Tomorrow's mentorship is going to be on how to do that. But
can't wait.
My point is that you're now there. 4 months ago, you weren't really there. Now it's like, I need to figure out how to get to that level to where everyone's kosher. They still love me. And there's no dissension.
Gotcha.
And so that's a good problem to have.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's the best problem to have.
I love it. Okay. So I think consistency is a phenomenal word. You know what I mean? Because what I also think, I don't want to speak for you, but your journey is just so awesome, is I think another something that someone can learn from you is that persistency is key, right? It's just being top of mind. It's going in, saying I'm here. And just because you got two, we're going to put your name in a Rolodex, it doesn't mean you don't go in the third time.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't mean you don't go in month number 6, 7, and 8.
That's right. You have to keep going every month.
I love it. And it's funny, when you start watching all these videos, there's kind of a running theme between all you high producers. You probably know Bill Zanunga in the group.
Yep.
He went to the same title company 9 straight Mondays.
Okay.
Every Monday for 9 straight weeks.
Right.
Before they finally said yes.
See?
You went to the same title company for 8 months before they said yes. My point is, I hope that people are getting inspired by this kind of common thread between you big producers, that, consistency, persistency, not inventing the wheel, bringing it on.
Right.
So much. Let's go. Yep. Okay. So the last question to wrap up this, by the way, that she had to do signings all day. This is, I believe,
I did.
9:00 in Maryland. So thank you so much for spending time.
You're welcome.
It's an awesome interview. Okay, cool. So, there's people out there, D, who are nervous, right?
Yeah.
Who are like, when I say nervous, I mean nervous of becoming signing agent, period.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to know what you were nervous about before you started your journey, that you were like, man, maybe this industry isn't for me because of this. What was that for you, so we can help somebody else?
I think it was me feeling a little unsure about the title companies and the lenders wanting to utilize me. I think that's what it was. I was just kind of like, but what if they don't use me like ever? Not that anyone's going to be mean about it or anything, but what if they don't use me? What if they never use me? Then what?
This is good. What I heard, D, was self-doubt.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful again, right? You have a 10,000, 11,000, I don't want to cut you short here. $11,000 month signing agent,
right?
Who doubted herself.
Right.
And so I want someone else who maybe doubting themselves right now being like, look, you can change that mindset. It took you a year before you get the confidence to go into a title company. But what you did is you just started.
Yes.
And then starting help you have that growth, right? You can't get good at something until you do that something.
That's right. That's it. Exactly.
And so, I think that's powerful. You had doubt that the title companies would use you, and you had doubt that the lenders would use you. You had doubt that, like, why would someone use D? I have no experience.
Right.
Never done
I'm new. Before. I'm not making that much money anyway. I was afraid. I also, now that you said that, I'm thinking, what questions are they going to ask me about my experience or how many I've done? And I really hadn't really done that much. And I thought that might be why they wouldn't use me. I just thought about that from what you said.
Well, no, that's really good feedback. And the funny part is, what happens to a lot of us in the beginning of anything new is, we have negative self-talk, right? You start talking yourself out of something.
Yes.
Students, if you can talk yourself out of something, you can talk yourself into something.
That's right.
But I love that you were vulnerable to have that conversation with me about, I would just kind of make up excuses on why I shouldn't go into a title company.
Mm-hmm. And
it's really just comes down to kind of just self-doubt. And but now I'm assuming you can walk into any title company in Maryland.
Yes, sir. No problem. All the confidence in the world, smile on my face. I'm just like, I'm here. Hi. and no doubt whatsoever.
Could you imagine 2 years ago that this is the version of D that would be sitting in front of me today?
No, not in a million years. Not in a million years.
I'm proud of you, D.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you, D.
Thank you so much.
And so let's talk about it a little bit more, because I think this is a very good topic, especially that it took you 2 years. Again, you're not one of those people, like Megan we did last week, is just beaming with confidence and enthusiasm and courage. But you're the opposite, which I think more people relate to you, frankly, than they do Megan. And so I want to talk about, this lack of self-confidence. And I want to kind of touch on something you said earlier about, how I didn't have any sales skills. And I was never in the sales industry before this.
Right.
Because I heard a lot of your self-doubt, which I think also led to this conversation you had with yourself about, like, well, I can't sell anything. Like why would I do that? Like, talk about that.
So I just kept having that salesman mentality in my head. And I know that the core of me is not a salesperson. So I'm like, all I know to do is just be me. And hopefully, my personality and my energy will, resonate with the people whose offices I'm going into and trying to meet and things like that. And that will be the connection, I guess I'll say, what we have. I just had to get that salesman mentality out of my head, because I know I'm not that, but I know I'm so much more. So I have to put what I am up front and just get that salesman mentality out of my head. Because again, it's not even sales. You're not a salesman, but in my head, that's what I thought. That's what I felt.
I think you said something that was maybe one of the best quotes in any of these episodes is, I'm not a salesman, I'm so much more.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That was like deep.
Thank you.
Like, honestly, like, I've never thought about it that way. A salesman is someone who's trying to sell you something that you may not need, that's something that they may not believe in, right? When you realize that you're not selling anybody anything, you're just offering you and your services and something you ultimately believe in.
Yes.
It's no longer selling, it's giving value.
Yes, exactly.
You walk in saying, look, I know I can help your business. I know if you work with me. Because at that point, it's not selling anymore.
No,
it's an exchange of services. Right?
Yes.
And that's it. I love it. I'm so much more than a salesman, man. That was such a good line. And I appreciate you telling people that, you're not a salesman. You're not Mrs. I have like 14 alternative closes and I'm going to use psychology to like trick you into using me. And so I'm proud of you, D. I mean, 2 years ago, you were taking your and now you're halfway to being a 6-figure signing agent.
Yes, I am. And I will be this year.
Incredible. Okay, so on the way out.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to say to someone watching this who might be having a little bit of self-doubt like you used to have, is what I should say? Is there any message or words of encouragement or inspiration? Because from anybody, you're inspiring. 2 years to get where you're at. So is there anything you want to just kind of end the interview with and be like, if you're out there, go off the top of the cuff?
Okay. I would say anyone out there that is having second doubts or in the mindset of comparing yourself to someone else or anything like that, you just have to let all of that go, because it doesn't matter and it's not important. All that matters is you and what you have to offer and your journey. Be consistent, be persistent, and it's guaranteed to be successful if you do those things.
I'll end with that. Donyale, I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I will see you in conference in 2 months with your 10K pin.
And my No Plan B t-shirt.
That's right. And walking across stage in front of all your colleagues. I'll see you in 2 months, D. Bye.
Bye.